Celtics Nation, we're back with an exclusive video and the latest updates on our beloved Boston Celtics. Before we dive in, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit that like button. This way, you'll always stay up to date and never miss out on any exclusive news. Man, the NBA world has been absolutely rocked by a rumor that's been spreading like wildfire across social media and insider circles. I'm talking about none other than Jayson Tatum. Yes, the face of the Boston Celtics, the guy who's been leading that franchise with poise, power, and that signature silky jump shot. Now, reports are rumbling that Tatum may have tested positive in a random drug screening and could be facing a 1-year suspension from the NBA. Now, before we dive in, let's be super clear. Nothing has been officially confirmed by the league or the team yet, but the buzz is loud and multiple sources say something is brewing behind the scenes. This isn't just your average rumor. If there's even a grain of truth to this, it would be a monumental moment, not just for Boston, but for the entire NBA landscape as we know it. So let's unpack this whole situation. The first whispers started circulating late last night on X, formerly known as Twitter, when an account with a decent track record for breaking NBA news posted that Tatum had allegedly failed a test and that the Celtics front office was aware but holding off any comment until legal or procedural steps were complete. Within minutes, NBA Reddit was on fire. Instagram pages were picking up the rumor, and some insiders, including 1 or 2 blue checkmarks, began suggesting that the issue involved performance-enhancing drugs, or PEDs. Now, for someone like Tatum, who has always maintained a squeaky, clean image, this kind of news just doesn't add up at first glance. But as we've seen before in sports, anything can happen. And when it does, the fallout can be massive. Let's not forget how tightly the NBA guards its brand and integrity. If a player of Tatum's caliber, a multiple-time All-Star, a Team USA representative, a legit MVP candidate, is indeed facing a doping violation, the league won't take it lightly. Sources close to the situation claim the NBA has already conducted a second round of testing and is reviewing whether it was a false positive, contamination, or something more serious. The rumor even goes as far as to say that the Celtics are bracing for a possible year-long suspension, which would be devastating considering how close this team is to contending for a title. Tatum is their cornerstone. Without him, that roster looks very, very different. And for the fans, this feels like waking up to a nightmare. Let's be real. Tatum isn't just any player. He's been the guy for Boston ever since he stepped foot in the league. Drafted 3rd overall back in 2017, the Celtics knew they were getting a star, but few imagined he'd blossom into this. A franchise centerpiece, a two-way beast, a walking 30-point game when he's in the zone. He's carried the Celtics through playoff runs, hit clutch shots when it mattered, and grown into a mature vocal leader both on and off the court. That's why this rumor hits so hard. This isn't some end-of-the-bench guy or a G League call-up. This is Jayson Tatum, the player Boston has bet its future on, and suddenly there's talk that he could be forced to sit out an entire year. That's more than just shocking. It's seismic. Now, to be totally fair here, we need to talk about due process. The NBA doesn't just throw suspensions around without completing a full and thorough investigation. And if there's even the smallest doubt about a sample, they'll retest, re-examine, and verify before making anything public. So right now, all we have is speculation, albeit widespread and coming from multiple directions. But here's the thing. Rumors like this usually don't start from nowhere. Someone somewhere knows something. And when this many voices are saying the same thing, even if they're whispering, you have to start paying attention. Still, it's worth remembering that athletes have been wrongly accused before, and in some cases, faulty lab work or contaminated supplements led to false positives. So let's not rush to crucify the guy just yet. Let's also not ignore the bigger implications here. If Tatum does get suspended, what does that mean for the Celtics season? We're talking about a team that spent the last few years building, carefully balancing young talent with veteran experience, all leading up to what many believed was their year to break through. Tatum was the centerpiece of all that. Without him, you're asking guys like Jaylen Brown to carry an even bigger load. You're leaning heavier on players like Derek White and Kristaps Porzingis, and you're asking Joe Mazzulla to completely rethink his rotations and game plans. It's not just a player being out. It's like the Celtics would have to reinvent themselves mid-season. That kind of disruption can derail an entire campaign. But before we continue, please remember to subscribe to the channel and give the video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest news about the Boston Celtics. Feel free to share your thoughts on the news in the comments as well. And don't even get me started on the ripple effect across the league. Tatum's absence would completely shift the balance of power in the Eastern Conference. The Bucks, Sixers, Heat, and even upstart teams like the Cavs would smell blood in the water. Suddenly, Boston isn't the same threat. That has playoff implications, trade deadline implications, everything. And from a business standpoint, this affects merchandise sales, TV ratings, even All-Star Weekend. Tatum is one of the NBA's most marketable stars. He's got the Jordan brand deal, he's in commercials, he's a face of the future. You take that guy off the court for a year, and the league feels it in more ways than one. It's not just a Celtics problem, it's an NBA problem. What's wild is that Tatum himself hasn't said a word. No cryptic tweets, no Instagram stories, no "I'll address this when the time is right" kind of post. Just complete radio silence. Which, depending on how you look at it, is either very smart, letting the lawyers and the team handle it, or kind of suspicious. Fans are definitely split. Some say we should stand by him, trust his integrity, and wait for the facts. Others are already dragging his name through the mud, assuming the worst. And in this age of hot takes and cancel culture, it's hard to know what's fair anymore. But I'll say this. If Tatum is innocent, he deserves every chance to prove it. And if he's not, then he's got to face the consequences just like any other player would. I think what's making this whole thing so intense is how much people want to believe it isn't true. Tatum has never been that guy. No controversies, no off-court drama. No shady stories, just a young man who's worked his tail off to become one of the best players in the world. He's been a role model, a father, a community figure in Boston, which is why, if this rumor is true, it would feel like such a betrayal to fans. Not just Celtics fans, but NBA fans who followed his rise and respected the way he carried himself. This isn't just about violating league policy. This is about trust. And rebuilding that trust, if broken, takes way more than a few highlight reels or PR apologies. So, where does this leave us? In limbo, honestly. Until the NBA or the Celtics make an official statement, we're stuck with rumors, reactions, and raw emotion. But no matter what comes next, this moment will mark a turning point. Either it'll be remembered as a false alarm that tested Tatum's character and he emerged stronger, or it'll be the beginning of a very dark chapter in his career. Either way, the spotlight's on him now, and the pressure is as real as it gets. Let's hope, for the sake of the game and everyone who loves it, that the truth, whatever it is, comes out soon, and comes out clean. Because right now, the NBA feels like it's holding its breath. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the Boston Celtics, please subscribe to our channel and give the video a like. We always appreciate your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.